What does it really take to be successful? Let me be straight with you. You can walk into any bookstore and buy 100 books that explain the steps, the strategies, the checklists. Knowledge is everywhere. That's not the issue. The real question is, do you have the heart to actually do what those steps demand? That's where most people fall short. Why does one person get up at 3 a.m. while another barely wakes up in time to rush to work? It's not because they don't know waking up earlier could change their life. They know it. Everybody knows it. The difference is heart. Discipline. That inner fire you can't get from Walmart. You can't buy effort. You can't buy hunger. You can't buy drive. But right now, you can choose it. Your day is shaped by what you think the moment you wake up. Most people let the first person they meet decide their mood. I refuse to let anyone else set the tone for my day. I decide that. I guard that. I own that. Because the blueprint to your entire existence, everything you want to become, comes down to one thing: your commitment to harden your mind and sharpen your discipline. Look in the mirror and really ask yourself, how sharp is my discipline right now? When you can walk past the mirror and honestly say, that's a beast right there, it's because you shaped yourself into that person through action. Not imagination. Not daydreams. You behave your way into your highest self. You do it over and over until your character becomes forged, hammered into strength like a sword. That process is not comfortable. Real change never is. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to hurt. It's supposed to test you. When you're exhausted, when your legs are burning, when your lungs feel like they might explode, that's when your mind screams for you to stop. But you tell that voice to shut up. You're the one calling the shots now. This is where weak people pull themselves out of the fire too early. And like gold pulled from the flames too soon, they never become what they could have been. Very few people have the courage to stay in the fire long enough to be refined into something powerful, and that's why so many settle for normal. They complain, they question the grind, they quit. They give up the moment life gets structured, disciplined, demanding. They choose comfortable mediocrity over uncomfortable growth. But you don't get to do that. You go back to the old you or you rise. No compromise. No exceptions, you get stronger by loving the hard things. That's what builds confidence. That's what builds capability. Stop running from difficulty like most people do, run toward it. The bigger the battle, the bigger the growth. Stay in the fight. Stay in the storm. When things get tougher, you get tougher. Declare war on your excuses. Decide that whatever you were before is nothing compared to who you're about to become. Most people only execute when circumstances are perfect. When everything feels good. That's not discipline. Discipline is what you do when it's raining, when you're tired. When you're frustrated, when the world feels heavy. Discipline is when you get it done anyway. Think about your life. Is this everything you've got? Or is there more in you? Could you push 10 times harder? Yes, you could. But it takes the warrior mindset, the mindset that says, I do what I said I would do, no matter what. Every difficult day is testing your character. It's testing who you believe you are. It's testing your endurance, your grit, your integrity. And the days you want to do nothing, those are the days that shape your entire future. That's when you either rise or fall. Your potential has no limit. But unless you develop mental toughness, unless you commit to discipline, unless you stay consistent with what you know you need to do, you will never reach it. Every person you admire has mastered this skill, not because they were gifted, but because they could execute when they didn't feel like it. The real enemy. That instinct that whispers, you've done enough. That voice is a liar. It wants you to settle. You fight that voice every single day. You drown it out with action. You listen instead to the iron, the grind, the work telling you to rise. If you don't sacrifice, nothing changes. You give something up to go up. Maybe that means no more late-night TV. No more every weekend parties, no more sleeping in. Maybe it means working an hour longer, waking up an hour earlier. You stop playing with your potential and start acting like your life matters, because here's the truth, when conditions are good, anyone can look like a beast. But the moment conditions get rough, most people quit. You don't quit. You grow up. You show up. You keep going when you're sick, when you're tired, when you're stressed. You don't stop when you're tired, you stop when you're finished. Successful people are consistent. That's the difference. And everything you want, the money, the success, the peace, the strength, is controlled by one person, you. Nobody else decides. Nobody else is responsible. If you skip a day, no one knows, but you know. That's what defines you, those days you want to stay in bed. Those days decide where your life ends up. That's when you choose whether you remain average or become unstoppable.